Bounced back. Slight chance winning the Oaks. He won on Courcheban in the Queen Elizabeth and the McKinnon on Viander Cross. So after all the ups and downs for Shane during the spring, he's come out pretty much a winner in the end.
Well, he came out, Bruce, with a tally of 5 Group 1 wins for the Carnival, better than any other rider. And his ride yesterday on Silk Alley to win the Sandown Cup from barrier to post was fantastic. It's very difficult to rate a horse in front for 2,400 metres. And he did it in the fastest time. He set a course record, breaking a record that stood for 20 years. It was a fantastic performance.
Well, it was fast racing all day, and I think with Silk Alley in particular, there's a terrific guideline with Naturalism, who beat him last week, and when we look ahead towards the Japan Cup.
Oh, absolutely. Naturalism leaves Melbourne tomorrow as one of the 2 Oceania region representatives in the Japan Cup. He gave Silk Alley 12 kilos only a week ago, 8 days ago at Flemington, and beat him. And Silk Alley did what I mentioned a moment ago at Sandown yesterday. Now, to top that off, if that wasn't recommendation alone, Bruce, yesterday at Flemington, Naturalism galloped over 1,800 metres. The last 600 metres was the fastest time ever clocked at Flemington. Des Bain has been clocking there for 30 years. Said he broke about 33.7 for the last 600 metres of that gallop. So we have, well, Land of the Rising Sun, look out. We've got a good horse on the way.
We have, and we might have a second good horse, because I think Let's Elope's in pretty good form as well. I think this will be, we've done so well in the last couple of years with Horlicks and also Better Loosen up Shaftesbury Avenue last year. I think this is our strongest team, if we could possibly say that, and we've won it twice in the last 3 years.
Yes, but alas, taking on the strongest opposition ever.
It's going to be the best Japan Cup of all time. But yesterday, the Sandown Cup was the fastest of all time. Silk Alley winning, we've already said what a great ride by Di. Brave Expectations, a little bit unlucky, and in the event, the favourite just didn't come down the hill at all and probably lost his chance there.
Running to the 1,000-metre mark, and Silk Alley in front by 3. Second is Ali Boy ahead, then Tarara going up on the outside, a length into Big Quality out 3 deep. Then in the event on the outside of Sky Flyer, Heroicity the Grey going forward 3 deep, and then further back Courcheban. Brave Expectations with nowhere to go from Valdano, a gap beat side, Tough Enough, Tremoraya, Cool Credit. 2 to Big Baron and the Grey Rich Dreams last of all. They go to the 650-metre mark, and the leader is Silk Alley, a half in front of Tarara on the outside, getting closer. A length and a half to Big Quality to third. Heroicity running on, and then under the whip further back there, Ali Boy from Brave Expectations. At the 400-metre mark now, Tarara trying to get to Silk Alley. Silk Alley a half in front of Tarara. Then Sky Flyer getting out. Heroicity under the whip from Ali Boy, and further back then Big Quality, and nothing else coming from behind. But Silk Alley's kicked to the 200-metre mark. 2 or 3 lengths in front. Sky Flyer after it quickly now, followed by in the event Silk Alley in front. Sky Flyer in the event, and Brave Expectations trying hard. Silk Alley hanging on. Silk Alley's won the cup. A long head to Sky Flyer. Brave Expectations got up to run third in.
2 horses behind the winner were in the Melbourne Cup, but it's interesting, Keith, generally with the Sandown Cup, it's the fresher horses that don't go through that long Melbourne Cup campaign that come out as winners.
Yes, that's the way it was, or it panned out yesterday, Bruce, and of course Silk Alley giving Sydney trainer Bob Thompson his second win, only his second try in the Cup. He did it 10 years ago with Bianco Lady. The Hayes camp, unlucky with both. Courcheban stumbled at the start, and the other one bowled...
Brave Expectations. Getting clear late.
Both missed a penalty for Perth.
Yeah, they go to the Cup. What about Heroicity? It's hard to know whether this horse is going to come back now. He had wet tracks all year. He got onto a dry track yesterday, but it was probably at the end of his tether.
Yes, he's a very good horse, a BMW winner, but in his present form... you couldn't possibly back him in anything.
No, he's struggling. Sandown Guineas yesterday, the big shock of the day. Ghost Story 11 to 8 on favourite, but Navy Seal was heavily backed to beat him.
Down the hill they race 800 metres outer. Picnicker doing it well by a length and a half. Canopy second on the outside of Lansdowne Raider. Close in behind them Navy Seal, followed by Baskerville. Half a length upheaval. A length to Sheer Extravagance on the inside of Ruby Ladder. Ghost Story out 3 deep around the outside there of Forget Playing, and they're followed by Innocent King, and back behind them Prince of E-Power, and further back Drill Sergeant, and last of all Pushy Dancer as they make the home turn. They head for home. Picnicker is the leader. Ghost Story giving these leaders a tidy start. 400 to go. Picnicker is the leader by a length and a half. Canopy on the outside of Lansdowne Ladder, getting a run on the inside. Sheer Extravagance is coming home well. Ghost Story still well back as they come to the 250. Picnicker is still the leader, finishing on down the outside. Lansdowne Ladder, and here comes Navy Seal with a very good run. Navy Seal's the danger. Navy Seal on the outside, hit the front with 100 to go, and Navy Seal will get the money. Navy Seal wins the Guineas from Picnicker. Third home is Baskerville.
The form line through Raising Kentucky was very good with that horse. He'd been beaten a half a length and they'd beaten the opposition 15, and then he won his next start by 10, so it was no surprise to see that he was at least the danger to Ghost Story.
Yes, Newcastle trainer Paul Perry paid only $9,000 for Navy Seal as a yearling at the Scones sales. He was a little fellow then, that's why he was so cheap, but he hasn't grown.
No.
He's pint-sized, but he's got a lot of courage. He missed the Victoria Derby because he had boils. Favoured backers broke out in boils after the race.
Sure did, and really never got into the race Ghost Story at all, did he?
No, he was swabbed after the race. Stewards asked Mick Dittman for an explanation. He said Ghost Story didn't come down the hill, and he said he had a horse on the inside of him wanting to come out. Dittman also was critical to the media about the rider inside of him. He didn't name him, but it was Kevin Forrester on Forget Playing.
Yeah, saying that he wanted to get off and get off and get off and stay wide. I think with Ghost Story we should forgive him. If you've taken 11 to 8 on, it's hard.
I wouldn't be so forgiving, Bruce. He's had 2 tries now at 1,600 metres, and they were his 2 defeats.
Yeah, well, I think he's outstanding, and we'll see about him in the autumn. But he might be one of those horses that's hard to ride.
You didn't lay the odds on, did you?
No, I didn't lay the odds. In fact, I thought he was a risk yesterday, Keith. I wasn't clever enough to back the winner. Didn't make any difference in the long run, Keith. The end result was the same. Minyama ran the fastest time for 1,400 metres. She broke Letzalope's track record yesterday. Let's have a look at this performance.
Fair way off them as Minyama set up a bit of a lead up to the turn. They're followed by Overpitch and then further back Leggings and Havelock's Pride, but the leader Minyama went for home at the 400-metre mark. 3 lengths in front of Carolingian there, 4 or 5 to Old Redelver into the clear. Down to the 300 though, and Minyama down on the inside. He's full of running today, this lightweight. He's 3 lengths in front, Carolingian trying hard. A gap Redelver, and then further back in the field came Beppett's Boy. Minyama in front, 150 to go. Carolingian and Beppett's Boy going after him. Minyama getting tired, Carolingian trying hard, but Minyama's got home 3/4 Carolingian, Beppett's Boy third.
I said he, I meant she. I said she, I meant he.
Well, she held the record, Letzalope.
That's exactly right, Minyama a he.
The record was 1:22. Minyama's time 1:21.8. Minyama will stay in Victoria to race in the Christmas handicap at Caulfield and the Standish at Flemington New Year's Day.
Pretty good horse, and the second horse is going well at the moment, Carolingian. He may go to Perth and he'd be a chance in the railway, I reckon, on that run. Isn't she gorgeous? The one that won yesterday, wasn't she?
Well, punters didn't think so. It bowled everyone out, the survivors out of this record and catching straight 6 that is operating here in Victoria. But it will, next week, Bruce, have interstate and international interest because the pool might reach $7 million if you can pick the last 6 winners at next Saturday's Caulfield meeting.
Well, this was a real tricky one in the Lauren Perry sprint. There were still a few live units after this win of Isn't She Gorgeous. No one had Silk Ali, though, as well. Let's have a look at this flying finish. Baccara looks the winner with 200 to go.
Racing now. Cogitate has jumped away fairly well. Black Rose is beaten for speed. Barcara away brilliantly out wide. Stamatina going fast and showing speed there in the centre now as Noble Lancer. Moose on the Loose is dropping behind them. Lady Hatton getting out of the inside with Pug for Me. Further back then Prince Malcolm and Gunman dropping well back in the race, and Top Walk last of all. 550 out off the fence here, and it's Barcara just in front. Noble Lancer's got up on the inside from Pug for Me. Mr. Cube going forward from Stamatina. Sublimate very deep out there with Cogitate, Printer's Choice, and further back in the field then came Laser Beam, is beaten for speed behind those from Moose on the Loose, Prince Malcolm, further back Classy Rogue, Proud Value, Barcara, Noble Lancer, 250 out from Pug for Me, Mr. Cube, then Sublimate in She Gorgeous down the outside with Black Rose, but Barcara got to the front with 150 to go from Noble Lancer, and here's Isn't She Gorgeous with a great run. Isn't She Gorgeous over the top of them, and Isn't She Gorgeous gets up to win. Isn't She Gorgeous has beaten on the inside Barcara. Black Rouge has got up to run third.
Quinella there for the Cameron stable, and
Gee, Elf Matthews is riding so well. He won the Bendigo Cup during the week. He's a hot jock, isn't he?
he sure is. Explain about this straight 6, having to pick 6 winners the last 6 races. It'll be at Caulfield next week, the Eclipse Stakes, and we're looking at what, something between $5 and $7 million.
Exactly, Bruce, and although it is restricted to Victoria, it will have national interest next week. It hasn't gone off for 6 successive meetings. The pool has grown from 40,000 progressively to yesterday 3 million. When the commission came out of that, 2.7 million will carry over to next Saturday, and that will probably boost the pool to something like $7 million. So we'll have Asian and international interstate interest as well next week.
Yes, big syndicates. Apparently one syndicate put in $140,000 yesterday to try and snare at it with a telephone account and missed out.
I was in charge of the Punters Club at Caulfield. We put in 32,000, went out first ball. Rot your socks, wouldn't it?
Sure would, Keith. Keep them on. See you next week.
Okay, this tie, the turf tie today, from Bob Douglas, the chairman of the Queensland Tab. Thanks, Bob, and see you next week.
Suits the coat. Keith Hillier. A break, and back with more after this.
What would you do?